so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. Hey, so fake woke. Same old safe zones. Hey, so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home.
Hey YouTube, this is Uncle Momo's music reaction channel where I provide my views on talented artists who have low subscribers and low views, as well as talented artists from around the world. Now, once again, I have no idea or the reason why they have low subscribers or low views, but I'm going to bring it to the forefront of my channel for us to view. Now today I'm going to do my best to upload about say 4 reactions, and I will let you know on these particular artists as I'm going along. So my first reaction of today is going to be Tom MacDonald, aka Sir MacDonald, and this is going to be Fake Woke. Now I have been given a list, but I'm jumping a couple of things, so I'm going to be going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, and trying to gain some kind of momentum of reacting with all his a majority of his amazing tracks within these 3 years. I've got a lot of catching up to do, so that's why I've decided to jump a bit, go back a bit, jump a bit, go back a bit, jump a bit, and also bounce into Nova as well, because she is an amazing artist as well. Wow, she is amazing. I reacted to Gang Gang, and that was just like, it opened my eyes. It really, really, really did. Anyway, look, that's going to be my first reaction of today. But before that, if this is your first time coming over to my channel, then please go over to my homepage and work yourself from the bottom all the way up to the top, because there's some fantastic, amazing artists which I do not want you to miss out on. I have simplified it for you. I have broken it down into various musical categories. Just remember, when you go into these individual categories, these are artists from around the world, both established artists and non-established artists, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Honestly, you really, 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 really wouldn't. Anyway, look, let's go straight into my first reaction of today. So, you know what we're here for. Great vocabs and a damn good video audio music. Can you dig it?
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers.
We'll just stop it right there, shall we? It's amazing. Do you know what? I see that over, not only Cardi B, Nicki Minaj is one as well. I saw her on the Ellen show or whatever it has. Yes, we have that over in the UK. And she's coming this very revealing and like absurd outfit on the Ellen show. And, you know, she was sort of like on the borderline from, you know, swearing and being that kind of person who, you know, we know who Nicki Minaj is. And it goes, and Ellen said, well, what can we do to, you know, you've got massive followers of young children. So how do we, you know, reduce that? And she goes, well, the young children buying her CDs is not her responsibility, is the parents. And it's so true. So the role model is bestowed upon you. It's not like you try and grab it. It's that someone says you're a role model. Even if you don't want to be a role model or not, then you know you've got to take responsibility. And some people will think, well, that's not my responsibility. I'm just doing what I came to do. Who says that I'm a role model? Don't put that title on me. And I think it's the same thing with Cardi B. Cardi B used to be a lap dancer. Well, is that a role model? Do you want your daughter to become a lap dancer? Right. So how can you sort of like put it on somebody, you're now a role model because so many people are watching you? No, that's nothing to do with a role model. That is nothing to do with, you're quick to say role model because you have a vast amount of audience. That doesn't make you a role model. It doesn't make you a role model, okay? Or becoming a role model, it doesn't. Even though all children want to be Cardi B because they see her flamboyant lifestyle, but they don't see Cardi B's hardmanship into it. The late early mornings, the late nights that she has to put in, the men ogling over her, some men that she didn't even want to be around, but know that will pay the rent. You know, she is persevering in life. She was in the trenches. She was in the mud, and she got out of it. You know, if that is a role model for anybody that's in the trenches, then fine, because we know that people in the mud got to do whatever they got to do to get out. You know, so but role model, when she's successful and that she is right now, does she change her perspective and say, well, now that I'm out and many people look at me, I am a role model. But what is her role model? What does she do that makes it a role model? All she can do is survive. That's all she's doing, surviving and enjoying life that's now out of the mud. Stop putting and labeling people and telling people that, oh, it's your responsibility because they've got a wider audience. It's got nothing to do with them. They've just got the likability. Nothing to do with role modeling. So let's put a title on this thing. Apologies for ranting on. I'm going to go back just a little bit. 8 seconds in. I might as well start this from the beginning. Sorry.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards.
Wow.
It's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump.
So this is another topic, guns. Why is it so easy to purchase guns? Why is it so easy to purchase guns over in the States? I mean, over in England, yes, we can get guns on the black market. And you've got to be a gun club and you've got to jump through many hoops to get yourself a license because you can kill someone. It's as simple as that. And America, I'm sorry, but you need to abolish guns. You need to abolish guns. Oh, it's your right. So this, no. Army people have guns because they kill people. Guns kill people. Don't say protection. Yeah, you can secure your house. If you took all the guns from America or say 1 year per bullet, and if you have a gun is life, and everybody doesn't have a gun, who are you gonna shoot? There's no one to shoot. People are more safe on the street. If somebody comes to rob you, they're not gonna rob you with a gun. Do you know what I mean? Abolish the guns. It's as simple as that. Why do you want a gun? Who are you going to kill? Oh, protection. What do you mean protection? If you take away the guns, that's it. Protection's gone. Someone's going to come at you with not a knife, maybe a knife or whatever, but it's not a gun. Gun shortens your life expectancy. Simple as. With one little trigger and a dumbass person behind the gun. Oh, I just want to shoot rabbits. I want to hunt. Fine. Hunting, fine. Get a hunting license. Get a hunting gun. But I've seen some ridiculous guns, a sort of array of guns in people's houses. And they say protection. People's got 5 or 10 or whatever amount of guns. And it's Uzi, it's this and that. Protection. What are you having? Who's coming to your house? Come on, let's get real. Let's get realistic on this gun issue. You really need to. Yeah, my guns, my rights, look, it's killing your right. It's murder your right. Because that's what is associated with gun. Killing and murder. Yeah? So are you a murderer? I think anybody that owns a gun should be labelled a murderer or a killer. Or potential murder and potential killer. So when the accident does happen or any incident does happen, you go straight to jail. You go straight to jail or you've been convicted or charged with murder or killing. And not protection. Not protection. There's loads of things that you can do protect yourself other than killing someone. Protection is a shield. Gun is an offence, is an offence, is an adjective, is to do something. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Sorry. But that stroke a nerve, that really did. I mean, only 24 minutes in. I don't know how far we're going to get with this, but I try not to pause all the time.
And now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist.
Yep.
If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame.
Right, about this race thing now. Look, oh my gosh, you know, the Slavery Act and all this kind of thing. The thing is this, what I have about it is that everybody's jumping up and down about slave and, you know, retributions and everything else. Fine, retribution, I get it. But there's not one, if you so hard felt about, I'm an African American and all this kind of stuff, why don't you go back to Africa? Just to say, do you know what, if I've been to Africa, I've been to Africa about, say, 5 times. And when you go there, the first thing I did, I went to Ghana, to the coast, and that's where they held all the slaves. And they say once you return back to Africa, you release one of your ancestors. And you do truly feel that. It's very historical when you go back to Ghana. But I'm seeing there's America as a massive population of African Americans, and not even a quarter, not even 10% of those Americans have gone back to Africa, gone back to their motherland. But yet you're screaming and shouting, oh, I'm African American. Go back to Africa and see what it means to be an African, to include your Americanism in there. Because there's one thing to say, oh, I'm African American, but you don't know one thing about Africa. That really grinds me. And loads of people in America, or black people in America, have the opportunity to go back to Africa right now. And they're not doing it. You're no longer slaves. So why don't you go back to Africa? Why don't we all go back to Africa and make Africa a powerhouse? If every black person goes back to Africa within 10 years, it'll be one of the most powerfulest countries in the world. That's what they're stopping us doing. They're dangling the lovely carrot and saying that, you know, if you go over to Africa, that's too much hard work to make it back into a world where, you know, where we kind of in prosperity and all that kind of stuff. If they carry on creating obscure things and thoughts in our mind to detract us from going back to Africa, because that's what they want. Because as long as they keep us here and messing about with our minds and putting certain issues where we can attack or we can hook onto and to discuss or argue or whatever, then we're turning a blind eye to our mother country, where so many people are still robbing that country of so many different kind of minerals. The only time when that country will get stopped robbing of minerals is the whole black people as a whole, as all different countries, you know, black people in France, black people in England, black people in America, you know, all over, go back to Africa and say, hey, stop this now. You know, you've been taking so many minerals from our country for too long. Stop the corruption, stop this. If we all go back to Africa, Africa will be a strong-ass powerhouse within 10 years. Look at India and Bollywood. Look how powerful they are. Look where they've started. You know, so I don't want to hear none of this. You know, African America, I need my rights and all this business. Go back to Africa and just rebuild it. We have all the rights that we want. Marcus Garvey had the you know, without internet or YouTube or Twitter, you know, he arranged for over a couple 100,000 people. He brought a boat to America and he just on board about a couple 100,000 people to bring them back to Africa. That should be our game plan. To go back to Africa and make it what it is. And until we have that game plan, until we say, right, that's it, you know, America's not our country. You was brought there. You know what country you belong to. But yet you still stay. Yet you still want to argue. Yeah, yet they still put things in your way as a deterrent to go back. A mindset, not a block, not a you know, they don't board up your gates and that stuff. No, they got this mind thing they do. That makes it a deterrent. For you not to go back to Africa, your motherland, your fatherland. So A, to release ancestors, and B, to make that a badass powerhouse. Imagine that if every black person that has been taken out from Africa, you know, ancestors and bloodline or whatever, went back to Africa with the knowledge that we have now. It will only take 10 years for that to become a powerhouse. Every planet will be crapping themselves. But yet we don't do it. I don't know. But that's food for thought anyway. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Not even a minute in. Can't believe this.
For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old, same songs. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
I think it's crazy how these people
Sorry, this is going to be really quick. But when the chorus came in, all I could imagine it was Nova. Because I heard the gang, it gave me kind of some perspective of where the chorus, the hook comes from. And I'm hearing, from what I've been told after I've done my reaction of Gang, that I can understand how the chorus is being set on. And I feel that is more Nova than Sir MacDonald when it comes to doing the hooks. That's what I get. That's my personal feeling. I really do that. I'm not saying there's an up and a hit and miss with certain hooks, but the message in the hooks is certainly not a miss. The message in the hook is certainly relevant. And you know what? Yes, in hip hop, the hook holds precedence. It really, really does. And it shouldn't really, because when you look at Sir MacDonald and his lyrical contents in the verses, they're powerful. And when it comes to the hooks, it's like, okay, I can take a breather now in understanding what's just went on. Or if you're that highly intellectual, then you can just persevere and carry on going and understand what's going on here. But every time when I'm hearing a hook, I'm picturing Nova rather than Sir MacDonald now. So that's a thing that I've just quickly seen. I'm going to go back just a little bit.
I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate.
Yeah.
I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same.
I thought Black Lives Matter was the most stupidest name ever. And I believe that if they constructed it in a better way, they could have involved much more people. I've said this, so hear me out. So yes, I understand Black Lives Matters, but I also understand that all lives matters. I understand that the native Indians' lives matters. They're becoming extinct in America. Native Indians are becoming extinct in America. And it's like everybody's turned a blind eye. No one's not that much concerned. There's Irish people that came over, it was absolutely a stinker. Jewish people, when they came over, it was absolutely a stinker. And when I mean a stinker, that they had serious problems. Every race that's gone over to America that started, they had serious problems and serious issues. And I just believe that if everybody stood together and called it All Lives Matters, and within All Lives Matters, you've got Black Lives Matters, you've got Irish Lives Matters, you've got Native Indian Lives Matters and all that stuff, but you're making a massive movement to support each other, it would have been a massive movement. Because what you saw with Black Lives Matters, you saw black people march, and every other race was like, well, I agree with you, but how can I participate in doing things? And naive people will say, well, you've got to be black. And that's further from the truth. You don't have to be black to understand Black Lives Matter. But that's what was kind of portrayed across media, but the unspoken term. You know, you got to be black for Black Lives Matter to support Black lives and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought that if all lives matters, then can you imagine millions and millions and millions of people marching with different kind of banners saying Black Lives Matters, Native Indian matters, life matters, gay rights matters, you know, lesbian right matters, all these kind of different kind of things that matters, you know, but they're all marching within one unison. That would have been the most powerful message ever, rather than just Black Lives Matters. Because every other race just watched in parade, watched why, you know, Black Lives went down this kind of road. And look how long did it last? Now it's just posters and banners on windows. There's nothing. It's just phased out. And to my understanding, there's a number of people that made quite a substantial amount of money from this. But if it all lives matters, I very much doubt it would have been phased out right now. I very much doubt the media would have had a different angle to look on. They wouldn't be. It would have been the media. It was what's the word? The media had had a hell of a lot to play in this, but you gave them enough ammunition to play about with. You know, they had a field time with this. Black Lives Matters. It wasn't. I don't think it was taken serious. It was media was just looking. Oh, look at them. They are Black Lives Matter. No, come on. it would have been a much more significant impact if everybody was involved in All Lives Matters, and inside that you have different kind of business units, or whatever. Black Lives Matters, Red Indian, Native Indians Lives Matters, like I said, gay rights matter, all these kind of things, and it would have been much more stronger than what it is right now. It really would have. So I'm going to go back just a little bit.
Exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food in my family, without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself.
I understand that there's this comedian called Paul Chowdhury. Over here, we've got so many cameras about in London, everywhere, and which has reduced the police on the streets. Literally, there is cameras, and we have got more cameras in London than any other city on the planet. And look how small England is. And there is a thing of like, when there is some kind of criminal activity, the police are just not there as quickly as they should be, or intervene, but the cameras will see, and the cameras will follow them all the way to their house and then get arrested in their house, that kind of thing, and which takes a long time procedure. But if you park in a bus lane, you automatically get they get the photo of your car, they take a photo of yourself. So what comes through your door is the fine, plus your car, picture of your car, picture of yourself, picture of, all this kind of thing. And it's funny that when somebody's murdered or whatever, they don't find the murderer, and, it takes ages to find this and find that. And Paul Chowdhury said, look, if you feel that you're going to be victimized or be murdered, just stay in the bus lane and you can get all the evidence that you want of being murdered. And it is like, it's just so uncanny. It really is that, what you're saying about the responses of the police. Police are just human beings like ourselves. And no matter what kind of training they go through, whatever, they still got to come home to their loved ones. They are human beings like themselves. They're not special. They're not got special powers, They haven't got none of that. They're just human beings trying to do the right thing, and they can get overboggled by political, overboggled by stress, overboggled from what they see, and that can turn them as a character, and that can turn into hate, that can turn into so much different things. Remember, these are just people that can easily turn, that can be monsters, that can be angels as well as monsters, and the hard thing is we have no control over the individuals. The only thing that we have control over just about is ourselves. So of course there's going to be so many different kind of things or issues that the police is going through just by their experience of what they're going through. Some police can't hack it, and they have sleepless nights, and all they wish they could do is just kill loads of people just to end this rubbishness of what they're in. Ain't that weird? Ain't that just horrible? I'm going to go back just a little bit.
Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know.
I just saw here
they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old, same.
But it works.
They so fake woke. Don't care about your feelings.
Use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness.
Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
They so fake woke.
Wicked.
Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Lovely, Nova. So that was Tom MacDonald, aka Sir MacDonald with Fake Woke. There's a lot of things to say about this, and I'm going to keep it really, really brief because it will be a massive long day if I open the doors and start going to it. I might just have a singular video just to talk about it if you want to, or do a live streaming. Let me know about that. But yeah, he's hit on so many different kind of levels. I've only scratched the surface when I stopped and paused. I didn't want to go on too much. But yeah, he's hit quite a few things on the he's brought a lot of things up to the horizon. And he's not the only one. There's loads of people. It's just that he's got the limelight and he's got a wider audience now to express himself. And what he truly believes is just absolutely mind-boggling. It's just like crazy. And I'm sure that I'm going to see loads of this going through the ages of his collection. And I'm going to be thoroughly enjoying it. This track right about now is, I don't know how old it is, but it's standing the test of time right now. Because this is the first time that I've listened to it, and it's as fresh as anything. It really feels as fresh as anything. He's got a lot to say. But my concern is present time, that what is he going to say now? If I'm going through his catalogs and he's hitting all these different kind of argumentative issues and he's bringing it to the forefront, is he drying out now? Is he run out of discussions and talk, or is it as strong as ever? Is his lyrics getting is it being repetitive, or is he saying the same things but in a different way? Or is he having more different kind of issues to talk about? Let me know about that. I mean, looking at Brainwash, that was amazing. That really was amazing. That was fresh as anything. But I remember I've only listened to 4 of his tracks. So people who, the Hog family, the ones that have listened to all of his tracks, does Brainwash remind you of a previous track that he's already done, or is it as fresh as anything? Let me know. But for now, that was absolutely amazing. It really was. And for that reason, Sir MacDonald, I salute you. Absolutely amazing.
Everything else that I said is right.
They so